Post details an elderly, egotistical president shielded from reality by a slavish coterie of loyalists. Never said that word before. So ailing, mendacious, egotistical. And that's from media outlets that spent 4 years smooching Biden's wrinkly ass. They were so far up his butt, I'm surprised they didn't diagnose.
Greg Gutfeld unleashed a relentless storm of comedy aimed straight at Joe Biden, ripping into every stumble, every wandering moment, and every confused pause from his time in office. He turned Biden's lost-in-space expressions, drifting walk-offs and invisible handshakes into a nonstop roast that shook the whole room with zero script, no teleprompter, and absolutely no friendly media cushion. Biden stood completely exposed under Greg's brutal spotlight, proving that late-night comedy still lives. Greg Gutfeld delivered one of the fiercest Biden takedowns the stage has seen in years.
President Biden boasting about how you should be thanking him this Thanksgiving.
Well, this past week, as Americans gathered around their own kitchen tables for Thanksgiving dinner, that was our goal, to give them a little more breathing room, from turkey to air travel to tank of gas.
Greg Gutfeld stepped onto stage, dripping with sarcasm aimed directly at Joe Biden, who stood there with that distant grin and drifting attention. Greg did not waste a second. He launched the roast immediately, calling Biden a guided mascot, carrying policies his own team can't even explain. Every punchline hit with shocking precision, and the crowd erupted as Greg sliced through Biden's persona with sharp and fearless accuracy.
Train wreck of a fact check. Yes, Reuters invites hilarity by fact-checking obvious parody, telling its readers no such luck. Biden doesn't really chase the ice cream truck. So it's no secret the big guy enjoys his ice cream. That's just one of the reasons why Dr. Jill calls him Mr. Soft.
Greg joked that the Biden presidency feels less like a functioning administration and more like a national senior moment affecting the entire planet. He compared Biden to an older uncle who gets confused in his own hallway, but still insists on driving cross-country. Greg said Biden talks about fixing the economy while looking like he is trying to remember where he put his dentures, and the crowd exploded in laughter.
Big ad buy comes one day before Robert Hur will testify about his report claiming that Joe is an elderly man with a poor memory. Biden will be taking his angry man shtick on tour and hit 3 swing states this week. Over the weekend, he gave us a preview of what senile moments you can...
Greg shredded Biden's speeches, saying that listening to him is like watching someone build IKEA furniture with no instructions, no glasses, and no understanding of what the final result is supposed to look like. He said Biden starts talking about inflation, then suddenly wanders into a random story about a cornfield in Delaware. His sentences twist together like tangled Christmas lights, leaving everyone staring, wondering what the point was supposed to be.
Speak! He's actually lobbying Baskins and Robbins to make a flavor based on little girl shampoo. Although, when Joe says sprinkles, it means call the urologist.
Greg tore into Biden's legendary long pauses, comparing them to a real-life buffering screen. He said you can never tell if Biden will finish the sentence, fall asleep, or restart like a robot doing a system update. Sometimes Biden whispers like he's leaking state secrets, and other times he suddenly yells a random word, turning every speech into a national guessing game.
Rated Mar-a-Lago with the feds. Now he gets a taste of his own meds. That's good. Yeah. Stop it! You're biting into the time. The White House admits that more classified documents were found, this time at one of Biden's homes in Delaware and in his garage. But it's cool, man, because that garage was totally...
Greg joked that choosing Joe Biden as a leader is like electing a wandering screensaver. It moves around, looks busy, but accomplishes nothing. He compared Biden to someone who walks into a kitchen and instantly forgets why he is there, except now it happens while signing executive orders. Greg said under Biden, you need a loan to buy eggs and a financial advisor to fill your gas tank. And when Biden insists the economy is strong, Greg said it feels like a magician pretending the rabbit is still in a hat even though it ran away.
Pennsylvania, I have a message for you. Send me to Congress that I can support this right, and I promise you, we take back Congress, we will restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land.
Biden could show America his razor-sharp mind by debating Donald Trump, but so far, he refuses to commit.
Mr. President, will you commit to a debate with former President Trump? It depends on his being.
Greg said Biden's approach to crime, border chaos, and education is to mumble something unclear at a town hall, then wander off like a dad lost at a crowded festival. He compared his leadership to putting a lava lamp in charge of a national power grid. It glows, but it does nothing. Greg replayed Biden's weirdest moments, invisible handshakes, random conversations with nobody, and freezing mid-sentence like someone hit pause. Then Greg joked that it would not be surprising if Biden greeted a houseplant thinking it was a foreign diplomat, and the audience roared.
The cold, sweet treat is perfect for cooling down after a long, hot, sweaty day of aimlessly drifting around the White House like a tumbleweed. But now Reuters, which claims to be a news outlet, is getting mocked online for actually fact-checking a clearly edited video of Biden getting distracted by an ice cream truck and walking out of frame.
Policy. Greg said Biden treats global crises like he's soothing a wild animal by reading it a bedtime story. He said world leaders do not fear Biden. They study him like a lab experiment, waiting for someone else to take control. Greg roasted Biden's border failures, calling it the greatest disappearing act ever, because Biden pretends it does not exist. Meanwhile, Americans juggle bills like stressed game show contestants, hoping the power stays on until the next paycheck.
She's going to win.
Joe Biden was the ultimate catfish.
Yeah.
We were all online being told, oh, this is a congenial centrist. Yeah, swipe right. I don't know how to do these dating apps.
Yeah.
But anyway, then you find out it's not him at all, but some guy in a bathrobe smoking meth.
Yeah.
God, how many times has that happened?
Greg mocked Biden's endless image makeover, saying trying to polish Biden's persona is like trying to polish a cloud. Nothing changes. He said Biden puts on aviators, an attempt to slow jog as if that erases all confusion. Greg joked that if sunglasses could fix the nation, Biden would be on Mount Rushmore by now. Instead, he looks like someone who escaped a retirement home searching for an old music concert. Greg also roasted Biden's student loan theatrics, calling it financial theater, where promises collapse the moment reality shows up.
And Chancellor Farabee, thank you for joining us as well. And for families across the country, the school year.
That's hilarious. I would say the footage does seem manipulated. There's no way Joe can move that fast. But give him a break. He's got oil cancer.
Greg joked that Biden's unity speeches feel like inviting someone to dinner and insulting them before they sit down. He said Biden unites Americans only in wanting every political commercial banned forever. Greg wrapped up by saying Biden is probably the first president praised just for staying awake in meetings, and that the country feels like it is living inside a presidential voicemail recorded by accident.
Department's appointing a special counsel to review whether Biden mishandled classified info. So how is the White House dealing with this? Come on, just got to trust the process.
This is an ongoing process under the review of the Department of Justice. We're going to respect the process, and we're just going to allow the process to continue. Let the process continue. It's an ongoing process. I am genuinely saying to you, there is an ongoing process. This is all part of the Justice Department process as part of that process. And I said because there was a process of justice throughout this process, we just laid out the process that was taken, and that is the process.
Yeah. Sure.
Gutfeld compared Biden's presidency to being stuck in an endless airport layover. Nothing works. Everyone is irritated, and every announcement makes things worse, he said. Biden's policy updates sound like flight delay announcements delivered with a fake smile followed by total chaos. Greg joked that the White House now resembles Weekend at Bernie's, but with suits, panic, and press secretaries performing verbal gymnastics to keep things standing.
Part of the Biden cover-up was by design, orchestrated to protect not the president, but to enable a radical agenda. Anyone could tell Joe was feeble. But what if Biden's decline wasn't caused by disability, but by debility, meaning he was purposely kept exhausted, confused, and miserable, like an overnight shift worker or a Fox and Friends viewer?
Greg Gutfeld burst into laughter as he mocked Biden's attempts to appear working class, even while attending billionaire fundraisers and shopping for scented candles. He compared Biden talking about blue-collar struggles to a reality show star claiming to understand homelessness after spending one night in a cheaper hotel. Greg destroyed Biden's stiff social media videos, saying they look more like retirement home ads than leadership messages. He joked that if Biden ever joined TikTok, his viral challenge would be called Find the Exit.